Welcome back to the Smugsy Show. I'm Smugsy, your host, identifying as the Barstool Cougar. My pronouns are first and third person. Each week, you can meet me here on the Smugsy Show, and we'll talk about hot topics at the intersection of sports, Barstool sports, business, and politics. This week's topic, we're going to sling it around Kirk Minihane's Big Get, the interview of Erika Nardini on her podcast, The Token CEO. After circling the drain for weeks, Kirk Minihane threw the metaphoric Hail Mary pass and scored. And nothing says fuck you to your enemies quite like scoring. So congratulations. It seemed like for weeks Kirk Minihane was kamikaze-like. I call it the Kirk's period. It's like instead of every 28 days getting bloated and bitchy, he gets paranoid and bitchy, burns bridges like an arsonist, lights up a room. Well, Kirk did a great job. It was a fantastic interview. But speaking of bitches, there was karma's a bitch. You know, karma, it's the Buddhist term for basically spiritual cause and effect. Your actions and intentions in this life determine what you'll become in a new life, in the next life, reincarnation. Well, there was some karma in the interview. Erika Nardini said she was a little displeased that NASCAR had commented publicly on the deterioration of the relationship between NASCAR and Barstool Sports. She would have preferred if NASCAR people had called her personally. Well, also during the interview, they discussed Dave Portnoy announcing on social media that K. Marco was getting canned, and K. Marco finding out about it through social media instead of getting that phone call. So karma's a bitch. Kirk Minihane, of course, is a bitch. Smugsy's a bitch. Karma's like, if you're an asshole in this life, you may come back as a festering hemorrhoid in the next life. We could do a whole show on what the prospects are for Kirk Minihane in the next life, what he might be reincarnated as. What comes to mind personally, the big toe of a Chinese porn star, or perhaps a sphincter cat, one of those hairless cats that looks like Yoda. We'll see. Kirk and Erika also talked about Sirius XM radio and the deal that's about to expire. That Dave Portnoy really wants what Howard Stern gets from Sirius, and if he doesn't get it, they might part ways. And what Erika mentioned that I thought was especially interesting was that the only thing that Barstool Sports owns is the blog. And so you heard it here on the Smugsy Show. Dave's next move when it comes to Sirius Radio, he's going to make a bid. He's going to make a bid on the auction that Donald Trump, President Trump, who, as we know, they've got a little bromance going. Dave Portnoy is going to bid on the spectrum that Trump is auctioning off. Currently, this spectrum is being used by our military for, naval radar and missile control and air traffic. Well, Trump's auctioning it off. Something about $421 million in debt that he's auctioning off this spectrum, and Dave Portnoy is going to make a bid, and they're going to make a deal, and Barstool Sports can then own the blog and the radio waves. Enough about that. On to your favorite part of the show. Who is Cougar of the Week? Well, I'm humbled and honored to share with you that yours truly, Smugsy Girl, is this week's Cougar of the Week. And the reason is, it's because tomorrow marks 1 year. 1 year ago tomorrow, Smugsy was born on the Kirk Minihane Show into the Barstool Sports world. And Kirk Minihane himself, Podcast Jesus, said, quote, "We like you. You're part of our family, and it's been a wild ride." Smugsy, she started out as everyone's favorite cousin, the token intellectual of the Kirk Minihane Show, and then the ex-token intellectual, all along playing that kind of smart and sassy villain, just reinventing herself, leading by example how to survive the Kirk Minihane Show. And, currently Smugsy's blocked by Kirk, but there's no doubt it was Smugsy's peacekeeping efforts that ended the war between Kirk Minihane and Bob Murchison. It was Smugsy who had Jim Browdy give Kirk a very special birthday greeting last Halloween on Kirk's birthday. And it's Smugsy who has started the now very popular Kirk Minihane Show Survivor Network. And so thank you for this honor of being Cougar of the Week. Tomorrow, in celebration of the anniversary, I'm going to be rebroadcasting that interview from a year ago on the Kirk Minihane Show. And what's incredibly exciting is that this week we're going to cross that threshold of 100,000 views of the Smugsy Show. So thank you for your support. I hope you'll subscribe to the show and tell your friends to subscribe, leave a comment. But also incredibly exciting is, as I announced last week, in Smugsy's Dungeon on the Discord, we are hosting a Kirk Minihane Show Survivor dance party. Dance it out. And what do you know? We had a very, very special guest provide the first dance video, Donald Trump himself. That video will be posted on Smugsy's Dungeon. You probably saw it on YouTube. Thank you, Mr. President, for supporting the Kirk Minihane Show Survivor Network. I hope all the fans and listeners out there don't be shy. Just tape a video of yourself dancing and post it in Smugsy's Dungeon. This week's poll question: what will Kirk Minihane be in his next life? A big toe of a Chinese porn star, a sphincter cat, or something else other? You can vote on Twitter at SmugsyGirl. I hope you follow me on Twitter at SmugsyGirl, or you can leave your vote here on the YouTube channel in the comments. It's been a great show. Thank you for spending time with me, and until next week, this is Smugsy signing off. Take care.